Hey guys, Mr. Pusky here. Hope you're having a good day so far. So we are in chapter 10. We're on 10.3 today. We're working with polynomials. So we did naming polynomials and adding and subtracting polynomials in 10.1. We did FOIL and distribution on steroids in 10.2. And now we're doing FOIL and distribution again, but with some special types of polynomials. So let's read the name of the lesson together as a class. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Special products of polynomials. Essential question 1, 2, 3. What are the special products of polynomials? I added it on there. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have some kind of special results. Two polynomials. I realized as I'm making this video, I didn't post the factor flow chart, which I will post hopefully with this video. But there are some special types of results that we get when we FOIL or distribute and stuff. So what I'd like you guys to do, let's do one together just so we remember how to do FOIL, and then you guys will try one on your own, okay? So we're going to do let's do number 3 together, okay? So we're going to FOIL this. I'm going to do the same colors I did before that I did in the actual worksheet and stuff to make sure we know how to do this stuff, okay? So we're going to FOIL firsts, which means we're the firsts in both of these polynomials here. Yeah, we're going to do 8 times 8, which is what? 64. So that was the firsts. Now we're going to do the outsides. So we're going to go outsides is going to be 8 and negative 5x. So first were these two. Outsides are 8 and negative 5x because they're literally on the outside of these two things. Okay? Or else what you can do, what I've been telling you guys before too, is you can just make sure you multiply 8 by everything in the other one. And you can also just make sure 5x is times everything in the other one. But we're going to stick with the FOIL for now. First, FOIL, so we're going to do the black was they were both first in these two polynomials. The red were both the outsides of these polynomials. They're literally on the outside. Okay, so what is 8 times negative 5x going to be? Negative 40x. Then we did green. Now we're doing the inside, so let me write out FOIL over here. Let's do it in the colors, actually. FOIL. We got outsides. That was really bad. Wow, I'm a little embarrassed. Outsides. Then we had green was insides. And we had blue was lasts. Okay, so firsts, outsides, insides, last. So we did first, which was 8 times 8. The outsides or outers, which was red, which was 8 times negative 5x. Then we have to do insides, which is these are two of the insides. We're going to do 5x times 8, which is what? That is 40x. And we're going to do the lasts, which is 5x times negative 5x, which is what? Negative 25x or x squared. Okay, be very careful. It's actually negative 25x squared here, okay? It's negative 25x squared because x times x is x squared. People were kind of goofing it up in the last thing here, okay? Now let's do some combining like terms. So looks like we have 64 by itself, no other 64 letter numbers by itself. We got x and x, and then we have this right here. So what's going to happen? What's negative 40x plus 40x? Yeah, these are going to cancel. So what we're going to have left is 64 minus 25x squared. So it looks like we did 8x plus 5x times 8x minus 5x, and we had the middle terms here. They canceled out, and we got, this is our final answer. Okay? So why don't you guys, I'm going to leave this right here so you guys can go ahead and try numbers 2 and 1 on your own. Give it a try, see if you guys get a similar result or the same result. Go ahead and pause the video. Okay, let's go ahead and do number 1 together. We're going to do it. I'm not going to jump between colors anymore. We're going to hopefully get in the habit of knowing how to do this, okay? So we're going to do x times x and then x times 5. What is x times x? X squared. What is x times 5? 5x. Then we do negative 5 times both things in the other parentheses. So what's negative 5 times x? Negative 5x. And what is negative 5 times 5? negative 25. So we have x squared, we have x's, and then we have, these are all the like terms. And 5x minus 5x goes to 0, so we get just x squared minus 25. All right, and the last one of this style, so we got to do 4m times 4m, and then 4m times negative 7. 4m times 4m, is that going to be 16m or 16m squared? Should be 16m squared. M times m is m squared. What is 4m times negative 7? Negative 28m. And then we got to do 7 times 4m and 7 times negative m. What's 7 times 4m? 28m. And what's 7 times negative 7? Negative 49. Combine like terms again. These go to, that's nothing, another m squareds. We have m's and we have constant. Negative 28m plus 28m goes to 0. They cancel out, so we get 16m squared minus 49. So it looks like the pattern is those are going to cancel out in the middle there. All right? So common characteristics of this of these problems. We're going to have two binomials. One binomial has a plus and one has a minus. So if you look up here, we have a plus and a minus. We have a plus and a minus. We have a minus and a plus. Okay? Each answer is going to have a minus. Each answer is going to be a binomial. So all these answers over here have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 terms. Remember, we put the walls above and below the subtraction symbols. Those are all terms. So we have 2 terms for each of those. Those are all binomials. The O and the I in FOIL canceled out. So we're left with just the F and L, basically. Okay? I'm going to erase some of that stuff so it doesn't get confusing. Because I'm going to be submitting these notes for you, too, on Classroom. So, all right, moving on. Okay, so that's a shortcut, basically. So sum and difference pattern. So what we had a plus b times a minus b, and that shortcut goes to a squared minus b squared. So we only need the F and the L from FOIL. Okay? And the reason for that was we did a plus b times a minus b. I'm going to FOIL this out again just so you guys can see what's happening here. So we have a times a, which is, a times a, which is a squared. A times negative b, which is negative ab. B times a, which is going to be plus ab. B times negative b is negative b squared. And these are going to cancel out. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to figure out what a squared equals. Actually, we'll do, you want to find what a equals, a squared equals, b equals, and b squared equals, and then we'll do a shortcut. Okay? Because the shortcut is just a squared minus, a squared minus b squared is the shortcut. Okay, so let's go ahead and do number 2 together as a class, and we'll do you guys will try number 1 on your own. So number 2, so remember this is actually a minus b, a plus b. So what's our a in this problem? Hopefully you said 7. So that means a squared, if a is 7, what's a squared? Is it going to be 14 or 49? Hopefully you said 49 because it's 7 times 7. Okay, don't forget the squared means 7 times 7 and not 7 times 2. And then, what is b? If a was 7, b is going to be 2m, which means b squared, it's a little trickier. What is 2m squared? Let me go over here for a little bit. 2m squared, remember we do the kind of distribution kind of thing? What is 2 squared going to be? 4, and we got 4m squared. So b squared is going to be 4m squared. So the shortcut, we're going to take the a squared and the b squared. This is going to equal, the shortcut is going to be, this is going to be a squared minus b squared. You don't even need to FOIL it out because we know the shortcut. So it's going to be a squared, which is 49, minus b squared, which is 4m squared. Okay? If you were to FOIL this, we're not going to do it all, but if I were to show you, if we did the middle ones here, if we did these two, that'd be negative 14m, and we did these two, and we did these two, that would be plus 14m. Do you see how those are going to cancel? So save yourself some time and effort, just figure out what a squared and b squared is, and this is going to be your final answer, a squared minus b squared. Okay? Why don't you guys go ahead and do number 1 on your own. I'll leave this right here so you guys can see what we're doing. Okay. All right, so we have y plus 11, y minus 11, so we got a plus b times a minus b, and we know it's going to equal a squared minus b squared. So what is our a in this problem? It is y, which means a squared is going to equal what? If a equals y, then a squared is going to equal y squared. B is going to be what? 11, which means b squared is going to equal, what's 11 times 11? 121. So what you should have gotten for an answer should have been y squared minus 121. Okay, now why are we doing this whole thing again? So the whole purpose of this lesson, guys, is to do special kind of products, okay? Special kind of multiplication of things here. And so this is a pattern. If you have a plus b times a minus b, it's going to come out to a special result, which is why we're trying to find a shortcut to make it easier on our lives here. Instead of foiling it all out like we did here, here, and here, we can get a shortcut to get to this part without having to do all the extra work. Okay? That's what we're doing right here. So this is what happened. So we took this, instead of foiling this out, doing y times negative 11, 11 times y, 11 times negative 11, we cut out the middle, man. We did the little thing, and we just did y squared minus 121, which gave us our shortcut. Okay, same thing over here. We did the shortcut, which got us this. Okay? All right, now we have a little bit different problem to work with here. We're gonna do number 3 together, okay? So this is 6x plus 5 all squared, right? So how many 6x plus 5s do I have here? I have 2 6x plus 5s. So I'm going to do 6x plus 5 times 6x plus 5. Okay? And now, what we need to do is we need to FOIL this. We need to figure out, this may not be the same kind of result as the last one, so we got to FOIL this out. So we're going to do 6x times 6x, which is going to be what? 36x or x squared? It is x squared. X times x is x squared. You got to add the exponents. Then what's 6x times 5? Plus 30x. 5 times 6x is another added 30x. And then what is 5 times 5 going to be? Plus 25. Okay? So we're looking for a pattern here. All right, now we have this. We're going to find like terms. So we got x squared is the biggest exponent. Any other x squareds? All right, then we have any x's. We got a couple x's here. Any other x's? And then we have a constant or number by itself, which is 25. So we're going to combine the like terms. So we're going to do 36x squared. No other x squared. That's gone. Plus, what is 30x plus 30x going to be? 60x. And then plus 25. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see. That's really not a pattern yet. But why don't you guys go ahead and do 1 and 2 on your own, just like we just did here, and try to figure out if you can figure out a pattern. Okay, go ahead and give it a try. Oops, I guess I should not do that. Sorry. All right. So let's go ahead and do number 1 together here. So we have x plus 5 squared, which means we have 2x plus 5s being multiplied together. So we are going to FOIL this again. So we have x times x times 5. What's x times x going to be? X squared. What's x times 5? Plus 5x. Then we have 5 times x and 5 times 5. What is 5 times x? 5x. What's 5 times 5? 25. Like terms again. So we have x squared plus 10x plus 25. Okay. All right, and then this last one here. How many 8 minus 3m's do we have? 8 minus 3m squared, so we have 2 of them. Okay, so we're doing 8 times 8, which is 64. 8 times negative 3m, which is negative 24m. Negative 3m times 8, which is negative 24m. Running out of room here, sorry. And then negative 3m times negative 3m, which is positive 9m squared. Be careful. So let's start with, and then we don't really rearrange it to put the squared first. I would just write it like this for now, okay? Just kind of keep it in the order. Those are our like terms. We have 64. What's negative 24 minus 24? It's negative 48m plus 9m squared. All right, do you guys see a pattern here? This is kind of a tricky one. What is 60 in relation to 36 and 25? Can you guys get 60 from 30x and 25, or 36 from 25? I'll give you a hint here. The square root of 36 is 6. The square root of 25 is 5. How do you get 60 from 6 and 5? Well, 6 times 5 equals 30. And then how do you get 60 from 30? So 30 times 2 equals 60. This one's kind of a hard pattern to see. If you saw that pattern, I'm really proud of you. That's really awesome. Don't panic if you didn't know. This is kind of a tricky one, okay? There is a shortcut for this pattern, but it's a little bit harder to see. So, common characteristics of the problem. Each problem is a binomial squared. Binomial what? A problem can have a plus or a minus, can have a what? And then each answer, how many terms do we have here? I see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If those all have 3 terms, what's it called with 3 terms? It's called a trinomial, hopefully you said. It's important to know those things, okay? And the middle term, you're going to actually double the O and the I from FOIL. Okay? So, the square of a binomial pattern so if we have a plus b all squared, the shortcut is going to be a squared plus double ab plus b squared. And same thing with a minus b all squared. A squared minus double ab plus b squared. Okay, so if we go back up to here, yeah, this is kind of confusing. We'll come back to it in a second. We'll finish this one off right here, okay? So the shortcut for the answer, the first and third term, you're going to square each term. You're going to what? You're going to square each term. For the middle term, you're going to double the product. You're going to double the what? You're going to double the product of the binomial. Okay, so basically what we did is if this is A and this is B, we did A squared plus double AB plus B squared. Okay, so I'm going to tell you with these shortcuts here in a little bit here, okay? So let me, let's do it with one of these problems. We'll do it with one of these ones down here, okay? Okay. So there's only 2 examples left. Okay, so we'll come back to another example later if we need it, okay? All right. So we have 3x minus 5 all squared. So we don't even need to expand this out and FOIL it. That's kind of extra work. We don't need to do that, okay? All we need to do is we need to figure out what a equals, a squared equals, b squared equals, and what double, and then also what double ab equals. Actually, we'll go like this. We'll do a times b and then double a times b. Okay? So, we have a minus b all squared. So what's our a in this problem? A is 3x. What is a squared going to be then? If a equals 3x, then 3x all squared, we do that, it's going to be 9x squared. 3x, if you're not sure how to do that, guys, do 3x times 3x, which is going to be 9x squared. What's our b? B is 5. What's b squared? B squared is going to be 25. I'm trying to think of how. 1 second here. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. We are almost at the end of the video here, guys. I'm making this more complicated than I think we need it to be, so we're going to go ahead and I'm really sorry about this. We're going to make it a little bit easier for you, okay? I don't want to confuse you too much by doing all this extra work. So hopefully you guys can forgive me. I know I'm a pretty bad person, but I was a bad person before that too. So, okay. So all we need to do is we need to figure out what A is, what B is, and then we're going to double AB, okay? I just looked at my notes and I found an easier way to do this here. So A and B. Okay. So, so A equals 3x. So what is A squared going to be? So this should be A squared. It's a minus, so it's going to be minus double AB plus B squared. So what is A squared going to be? If 3x is A, then A squared is going to be 9x squared. And then all we're going to do, a shortcut for this, guys, double AB. All we're going to do is we're going to multiply. We're going to multiply this times this and then double it. Okay, so we have 2 times, what is 3x times negative 5 going to be? 3x times negative 5 equals negative 15x. And then what is double negative 15x? It's going to be negative 30x. So all we have to do in the middle here is put negative 30x. Okay, and then what is b squared going to be? If b is negative 5, what is b squared going to be? It's going to be positive 25. So that's our shortcut. If you were to FOIL this out, you would have a negative 15x in the middle of this one, which would be kind of confusing, okay? So let's do it. We're probably going to add a couple more examples here and make sure you guys feel really good about this because it's getting kind of confusing that first time. So, all right, here we go. All right, so again, we need A, B, and then double AB. Okay? So what is A? If A is 2y, what is A squared going to be? It's going to be 4y squared. Again, you can do 2y times 2y if it helps you. That'd be 4y squared. And then we need to do double AB. Well, what is 2y times positive 7 going to be? 2y times 7 equals 14y. And then what's double 14y going to be? 28y. So if you should get to a point where it's pretty easy, all you have to do is like, you're going to go like this. You're going to figure out what A and B is. You're going to take this times this and double it. That's all you need to do for the middle term. So 2y times 7 is 14y. Double it's going to be 28y. All right? And then what's a b squared going to be? If it's positive 7, it's going to be 49. Okay, I'm going to add a couple more examples here. I'll pause the video here after I add a couple more examples so you guys can see the shortcuts here. And yeah, if you want to continue these shortcuts, you can. If you still get it right away, that's totally fine too. We're going to mix this up a little bit. So we're going to do 5x minus 9 squared and 4y plus 1 squared. Okay, so I'll leave this right here for you guys to give it a try. You guys can try these last 2 on your own if you like, or else you can stop the video. All right, so again, so for this one, what's our A? We need our A and our B. What is A squared going to be? If A is 5x, what is A squared going to be? It's going to be 25x squared. All right, then what we need to do is we need to multiply 5x times negative 5 and double it. What is 5x times negative 5? Or, sorry, 5x times negative 9. That's negative 45x. And negative 45x times 2 is what? Negative 90x. And then what is b squared? What's negative 9 squared going to be? Plus 81. So, again, when in doubt, expand it out, or if you're still struggling with this shortcut here, the shortcut's meant to be easier, but if it's still kind of a struggle for you to figure out, you guys can still FOIL it out. That's totally fine. You could expand this out and do 5x minus 9 times 5x minus 9. You will still get the same result, but you're going to have to do way more work to do that, okay? So this is meant to be a shortcut. Let's do the last one together here as a shortcut to make sure you guys feel good about this, okay? So 4y plus 1, there's our A, there's our B. So what is A squared? If A is 4y squared is going to be 16y squared. Okay? Then we're going to multiply A and B and double it. So what is 4y times 1? That is 4y, and double 4y is what? That is 8y. And then we got b squared, which is just positive 1 squared, which is going to be plus 1. Okay. So hopefully that wasn't too confusing. I think this first one up here was a little bit easier. Just cancel out the middleman and stuff. But yeah, I would probably just figure out a and b. So this one's just a squared minus b squared. Okay. This one down here is going to be a squared and then b squared, but then you have to do double a times b in the middle, okay, which is kind of confusing. Hopefully that makes sense. Make sure you get your homework turned in the first 2 days that this is assigned so I can give you feedback if you're struggling with this. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for watching, and we will talk soon.